New tonight, a deadly shooting in Sanford. Police have the gun, they've got the shooter, but they have not arrested him. And as Fox 35's Keith Landry tells us, the dead man's grieving family wants to know why not.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty.
There are very few African-American men in this country who haven't had the experience of being followed when they were shopping in a department store. That includes me.
Granville and, sorry, not Granville, but Seymour and Georgia blocked off.
Do you expect any convictions in these trials?
No, I think the judge has made it clear that what is going on in that prosecution is an attempt to criminalize lawful policing.
What's real is that there's a terror happening by the policing communities across the country. You can call it fascism, you can call it dictatorship by bad. The outcomes are the same no matter what we call it at this point, is that black people are being disproportionately killed by the police. The police have killed nearly 3 people every day in 2016.
Get out of the street immediately.
I don't feel you. I don't feel you.
On the night of February 26, 2012 in Sanford, Florida, George Zimmerman fatally shot Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old African-American high school student. Zimmerman, a 28-year-old mixed-race Hispanic male, was the neighborhood watch coordinator for the gated community where Martin was temporarily living and where the shooting took place. Zimmerman shot Martin, who was unarmed, during an altercation between the two. Zimmerman was charged with Martin's murder but acquitted at trial on self-defense grounds. The incident was reviewed by the Department of Justice for potential civil rights violations, but no additional charges were filed, citing insufficient evidence. Trayvon Benjamin Martin was the son of Sabrina Fulton and Tracy Martin, who were divorced in 1999. He was a junior at Dr. Michael M. Kropp High School and lived with his mother and older brother in Miami Gardens, Florida. On the day he was fatally shot, him and his father were visiting his father's fiancée and her son at her townhome in Sanford, Florida. She lived in the Retreat at Twin Lakes, a multi-ethnic gated community where Martin had visited several times before. At the time of the shooting, Zimmerman was employed as an insurance fraud investigator. He had been working toward an associate degree in criminal justice at Seminole State College. In one of his interviews with the police, he said his goal was to become a judge. George Zimmerman was brought to trial and found not guilty for lack of evidence. But this was not the only incident. The shooting of Michael Brown occurred on August 9, 2014 in Ferguson, Missouri, a northern suburb of St. Louis. Brown, an 18-year-old black man, was fatally shot by Darren Wilson, 28, a white Ferguson police officer. The initially disputed circumstances of the shooting sparked existing tensions in the predominantly black city, where protests and civil unrest erupted. The events received considerable attention in the U.S. and elsewhere, attracting protesters from outside the region. They generated a vigorous national debate about the relationships between law enforcement and African Americans, and about police use of force doctrine in Missouri and nationwide. A St. Louis County grand jury decided not to indict Wilson, and he was exonerated of criminal wrongdoing by the United States Department of Justice. Shortly before the shooting, Brown stole several packages of cigarillos from a nearby convenience store and assaulted the store clerk who tried to stop him, according to the U.S. Department of Justice examination. Brown was accompanied by his friend Dorian Johnson. The shooting sparked unrest in Ferguson. The Hands Up account was widely circulated within the black community immediately after the shooting, and it contributed to the strong protest and outrage about the killing of the unarmed man. The U.S. Department of Justice concluded that Wilson shot Brown in self-defense. Now we jump to today. In 2016 alone, U.S. police have killed at least 194 black people, according to the project by The Guardian that tracks police killings in America. And in turn, at least 11 police have been shot by the Black Lives Matter community in 2016 alone. I had an opportunity to speak with Reno Chief of Police Jason Soto on the issue.
My overall message is, I'm a very big believer in our First Amendment right and everybody's right to free speech. So my message has always been, for whether it be Black Lives Matter movement or any movement, is you certainly have the right to your opinions and your beliefs, and as long as you have demonstrations that are peaceful in our community, then I appreciate that, and I'll work with any given group. I can sympathize with just about anybody who has a belief in a strong belief in something. So I sympathize with the fact that they're very passionate, very convicted, and they have a lot of resolve. And oftentimes, as here in our own community, they've certainly reached out to their local police department to have peaceful events. So I think that's a good thing. I think that in any profession, whether it be police officers and police work, or just your typical job, if you will, you're going to have people that bend the rules and at times behave inappropriately.
I'm well aware of the peaceful city we live in, but in our nation as a whole, people need to realize that police are not doing anything other than their job, and the lives it affects when children of dispatch officers wait anxiously for their parents to come home. But what am I going to do about this? I'm one kid. But that's the thing. If we as a whole generation come together, we can stop the violence. I also had the amazing opportunity to get a response from President Obama on the issue, and he stated, "Ours is a country where with hard work and determination, you can accomplish anything you can imagine." That should be our goal as the next generation. And that is the issue the President-elect should be focusing on first. That is my message to the President.